What is up, bros and broettes? I am Inkslasher, and welcome to 5 Things You Didn't Know About Call of Duty Black Ops 4. This is the series where we take little intricate details, test them, and try to learn some new things about the game. Today is a very special episode because today is going to be 50 things you didn't know about Zero. Now, I don't know if there's actually 50, I haven't counted them all, but there's a lot more than 5 and right around 50. So specifically today, we are going to be looking at various interactions with Zero's specialist abilities compared to score streaks and other specialist characters to see what works and what doesn't. Also, on top of that, at the very end of the video, we're going to be looking at some little intricate details about Zero's aesthetic and character that you may not have known before. Now, as always, guys, if you do enjoy this type of video and enjoy this series, it's always appreciated if you hit that like button. It shows me you enjoy the video and want to see more like it. Now, one thing I've been kind of wondering is whether or not this would be a good idea to do with the rest of the specialist characters. Look at how their abilities interact with everything throughout the game and do it in an individual character basis. Now, like I said, I don't know if you're interested in that. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll see what the response is, and maybe we can do that going forward. Now, before we do hop into this video, I just wanted to let you guys know about my Twitch. Later tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be streaming over on Twitch. You guys can come hang out. We do open lobbies pretty much every single stream, which means you have a chance to actually play the game with me. So pretty much Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I stream over on Twitch. It'll be the first link down in the description, so hopefully I'll see you there. However, today we are talking about Zero, and her two abilities are the Disruptor Grenade and the Icepick. So before we talk about how they interact, we first have to understand how they actually work. So to start things out, we have the Disruptor Grenade, and when you throw a Disruptor Grenade, essentially it blows up and anyone within its radius gets disrupted. In other words, your HUD is screwed up, you can't use your abilities or score streak for a relatively short period of time. On top of that, this grenade can also destroy certain pieces of equipment, as we'll find out throughout this video. On top of that, one thing you may not know about the Disruptor Grenade is its radius is massive. For example, when I throw the grenade on the ground here, you can see my enemy standing across from me there. That is the radius of the explosion, which means the diameter or full distance it can cover is double that. On top of that, walls don't stop the explosion. So someone could be a whole building over, but the Disruptor Grenade can still hit them because it goes through walls and the radius is huge. After this, we have the L1 and R1 ability. This is called Icepick. This gives you the option to do 3 things. Number 1, you can hack enemy equipment and score streaks and take it for yourself. The second is you can destroy enemy equipment, and whether or not you can destroy or hack something is already predetermined, and once again we'll talk about that throughout this video. And then finally, you can hack the enemy soldiers. When the enemy soldiers are hacked, they can't use any of their abilities or score streaks. On top of that, they can't see their health, and on the minimap, red dots appear randomly, so something like a UAV is pointless. On top of that, it's important to note that if you do kill the Zero who hacked you, the hacking will end and you will no longer be hacked, as you can see here. It's also important to note that as of tomorrow, they are implementing a bit of a nerf for Zero. Essentially what they're doing is that they are making it so that Zero hacks score streaks slower. So most of the score streak hack times are going to be doubled of what you see today, and the Gunship hack time, which don't worry, we'll talk about, is actually going to be quadrupled. So we'll kind of talk about that when we get to that one, but just keep that in mind that there is a nerf coming for the score streak hack times tomorrow. And speaking of which, I figure where we can start things is how Zero interacts with all of the score streaks using the Disruptor and the Icepick on each one. So to start things out, we are looking at the Dart. As it turns out, the Dart cannot be killed by the Disruptor Grenade unless it is direct impacted. The explosion doesn't do anything to it, but a direct impact does, similar to most things. If you direct impact it with a concussion, 9-bang, anything like that, the Dart will explode. And if you do destroy it, it will also give you 150 scores. Similarly, with the Icepick, the Dart cannot be hacked, however, it can be destroyed, and if you do so, it'll once again give you 150 score. Similarly with the RCXD, it can once again not be killed by the explosion of the Disruptor, but only by a direct impact. The difference between the Dart and the RC, though, is that you actually only get 50 score for destroying it. Similarly, with the Icepick, it is exactly the same, where you cannot hack it, but you can destroy it. One thing you're going to notice throughout this is most manual controlled score streaks cannot be hacked, but rather destroyed. Next up, you have UAV and counter UAV. Obviously, you can't hit these with a Disruptor Grenade. They're way too high in the air. However, both of these can be hacked. So when you hack them, you're going to get 10 score for each, and then any assists you get with the UAVs, you will also get points for those as well. Now, next up, we have Care Package, and hacking a Care Package really doesn't do much. Now, you get 10 score for it, and it becomes yours, but basically all that does to the enemy is make it so it takes him longer to capture it. It does not booby trap the Care Package. Now, there is also a little bit of a glitch. You see, you can actually hack the care package before it drops in while it is still in the helicopter. However, if you do so, it doesn't actually hack it. It gives you the 10 score and then doesn't do anything to the care package. So I don't know if that's glitched, but as of right now, it doesn't work. Personally, I believe if you hack an enemy care package, it should be booby trapped and it should kill the enemy if they actually go ahead and pick it up. That's pretty much one of the only things and interactions with this that I think is underpowered. Now, the next one's also pretty interesting, and it is the Lightning Strike. And as it turns out, the Lightning Strike is the only score streak you cannot either hack or destroy. You simply can't do anything to it. Next up, we have the Sentry Gun, and this one has a really weird interaction with the Disruptor Grenade. You see, you throw the Disruptor Grenade at it, and you get 125 score for disrupting the Sentry Gun. Then the Sentry Gun goes inactive, and there's kind of like electricity going all around it for about 10 to 15 seconds, after which the Sentry Gun is just destroyed. It doesn't turn back on or anything like that. It's just destroyed. So a Disruptor Grenade completely destroys a Sentry Gun. It just takes a little bit to do so. Then, as far as the Icepick with the Sentry Gun, you can hack it. It gives you 25 score. And then, of course, after that, it kills enemies. Up next, we have the Hellstorm. And unfortunately, the Disruptor Grenade will not work against the Hellstorm. Because as you can see, when you throw it up into the air, it doesn't explode in the air. It waits till it's on the ground and then explodes. So all we could do against this one is use the Icepick. And as it turns out, you are able to destroy a Hellstorm with the Icepick. However, it only destroys the controlled projectile. In other words, if your enemy clusters the Hellstorm before you destroy it, that will still do damage to your team. However, if you destroy it before they cluster it, it will get destroyed and won't do any damage to your team. After this, we have the Drone Squad. The Drone Squad is really simple. Essentially, if you throw a Disruptor Grenade at the Drone Squad, it destroys all of the drones, completely takes them out, and gives you 50 score. The Icepick actually is able to hack the Drone Squad, gives you 25 score, and then they are yours. They then attack your enemies. Now, the Sniper's Nest obviously flies too high to be hit by a Disruptor, but if you use the Icepick, this one you actually can't hack, but only destroy it. The next score streak is the Mantis, and the Mantis is an interesting one because you can hit it with a Disruptor Grenade, but it really doesn't do much. It stuns it for about 3 seconds, and then it's back to usual. The Mantis can run around, shoot people, so the Disruptor really doesn't work well on it at all. As you can see, it's just a very brief disruption. However, with the Icepick, you can destroy the Mantis very easily. And then there's the Thresher. This one's similar to the Sniper's Nest, where basically all you can do is destroy it via the Icepick. And the opposite of this is the Attack Helicopter. Once again, you can use the Icepick on it, however, it does not destroy the Attack Helicopter, but rather hacks it. And actually, this is probably the best thing you can hack with the Icepick, as it's probably going to get you the most kills out of anything else that you would hack. Now, after this, you have the Strike Team, and this is one that I was pretty interested by because technically this isn't something you could hack or anything like that, and that's actually true. The Disruptor does not work against the Strike Team, nor are you able to hack the Strike Team. So similar to the Lightning Strike, this is once again something else that Zero can simply not deal with. And then finally, there is the Gunship, and this one is mind-blowing to me. So as soon as your enemy calls in the Gunship, if you're playing as Zero and have the Icepick, you can simply pull it out and destroy the AC-130 just like that. So this one clearly takes longer than the other score streaks to hack, and keep in mind, like I mentioned before, they are making it 4 times longer than this. However, I find it a lot overpowered that any player using Zero can simply destroy the highest score streak in the game. Keep in mind, a lot of players in Call of Duty games only get the highest score streaks in the game every once in a while, maybe once a month, and to have someone just instantly be able to destroy it, in my opinion, is really overpowered, and hopefully they do something about this, but I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say. Do you guys think this is overpowered or balanced? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Now, as far as how Zero works against certain specialists, I'm not going to tell you every individual thing. I'm simply going to tell you the ones that work. So if I don't cover them here, they simply don't work, or at least don't do anything against each other. So the first one that actually works is Crash's Assault Pack. So for this one, you can throw a Disruptor Grenade and you'll get 50 score for it, or you can hack it with your Icepick and then you'll get points every single time one of your teammates picks up an Assault Pack. Now, one question I see a lot is if your enemy is using a specialist weapon, for example, the Purifier or Tempest, and you either hit them with a Disruptor Grenade or hack them, will they not be able to use that weapon anymore? And that is not the case. In either situation, the weapon still works. However, if they don't already have it called in and you hit them with the Icepick, then they cannot use that specialist weapon until the hack is complete. Now, there is one exception to this, and that is Firebreak. So when you're playing as Firebreak and you use a radioactive core, if you throw a Disruptor Grenade while he's using the radioactive core, it actually stops him from using it. This is the only exception to that rule we just talked about. After this, we have Nomads Mesh Mines. The Mesh Mines can be destroyed with a Disruptor for 50 points each, or they can be hacked with the Icepick. Now, you don't get any points for hacking them with the Icepick. Unless an enemy runs through them, then you get the kill, of course. And if you're wondering why that kill was worth 550 points, it was simply because we had a score multiplier on in the custom game we were playing. Now, for those of you wondering, I had to put this one in there because you guys would have asked if I didn't. No, you cannot hack or disrupt the dog, unfortunately. I think it would be hilarious if you could hack the dog, but unfortunately, that's not something you could do. After this, you have Prophet Seeker. For this one, you can destroy it with the Disruptor for 50 score, or you can hack it and it will turn around and zap the enemy, which I think is a pretty cool interaction. After this, we have Recon, and the Sensor Dart is actually really similar to the Seeker we just looked at. It can be destroyed with a Disruptor, and you get 50 score, or you can hack it and take it over, similar to the Seeker that we just saw. As far as Vision Pulse goes, you can't really be disrupted or hacked. However, if someone is using the Vision Pulse and you throw the Disruptor at them, it delays the Vision Pulse, so it doesn't go as fast as it did before. So it does a little bit, just not very much. I also have to mention, you still get your 3 sweeps of the Vision Pulse, it's just that they're delayed after that Disruptor goes off. After this, we have the Tac Deploy, and this one can be destroyed with the Disruptor Grenade for 50 points, or you can use the Icepick not to hack it, but destroy it. Now, this would be one that would be a little bit interesting if you could hack it, because basically it would allow you to all of a sudden spawn in their spawn. So I understand why they made it a destroy instead of hack, but at the same time, it would have been interesting to see how that worked. Now, as far as Zero versus Torque, the Disruptor Grenade destroys both the barricade and the razor wire. Each of them give you 50 score. However, with the barricade, when you throw the Disruptor at it, it once again does that whole electrical thing that we looked at with the Sentry gun, and at the very end of it, it once again is destroyed. Why it stays there for a while, I'm not 100% sure, but once it's done with the little electrical impulse thing, it is destroyed. It doesn't go back online or anything like that. And then as far as the Icepick goes, it does hack the barricade, however, you cannot hack razor wire. And ladies and gentlemen, those are pretty much all of the interactions with the specialist characters and score streaks. However, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there's a couple other little things I wanted to show you. The first of which is with the trophy system. So, if there is a trophy system and you try to throw a disruptor at it, it will not work. It'll blow up the disruptor in the middle of the air and even do a little bit of damage to you. However, if the trophy system is behind a wall and you throw the disruptor at the wall, since the trophy system can't see the grenade, the disruptor will blow up the trophy system because, as we mentioned, the explosion from the disruptor goes through walls. Also, the other thing, yes, it is possible that a trophy system can kill you. A couple other aesthetic things you may not have noticed with the Icepick is up in the top left, you can see a little screen there that says Happy Hacking 0, and then right above the keyboard, you can see a label that says her password is too cold for you, hence the whole Absolute Zero event. And speaking of aesthetic things, the last thing I have to show you is actually if you go into third person while Zero is hacking and has the Icepick out and actually look at the computer screen, on the computer screen it shows an image of a skull. Now originally when I saw this, the first thing I thought of was Watch Dogs, the video game, but I'm wondering why that they actually put this on there. If it's just for an aesthetic thing or there's a little bit more to it. But that is 50 or around 50 things you may not have known about Zero. If you learned something, let me know what you learned down in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed the video, I'd really greatly appreciate it if you could hit that like button. This video took a ton of work, a ton of editing, so I really would appreciate that like. Also, if you like what you see here and want to stay updated with what you see on the channel, the best way to do so is make sure you hit that subscribe button and have notifications turned on. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.
You should take it slow.